Testing. How are you? I'm good, thanks. My name is Carrie. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel. I'm doing a little Q&A because I want to introduce you to someone that I'm very excited to have in my life. And I just wanted to do it in a Q&A. So, the very first question I received is, would you ever read on a Kindle instead of an iPad? So as you guys know, I read pretty much exclusively on this baby. We're just jumping right into this. I hope you guys are ready. Thank you for sending in your questions. I'm a little bit of a mess today. I save my messiest days for the days that I film for my book channel, and so you guys get me in a very specific mood, and here I am. So here we go. I read pretty much exclusively on my iPad for a multitude of reasons, but one main one is that I live in Korea, and the English language sections of our public libraries is very small, and then books here are very expensive. Physical books are very expensive. So I will go into it, but I use my library back in the US, and I read here through either my Libby app or my Kindle app, and I'll just show you. So I would read on this like that. Okay, cool. And so if you ever see, like on my Instagram, if you see pictures of me reading and it's my book, you usually see this. I won this in a contest a long time ago. It is a 10.5 inch. I think it's from 2016. So there we go. But I am going to, as I'm talking to you right now, by the time that you're watching this, I'm already back. But right now I am preparing to head to Europe on a little solo trip for a couple days, about like 9 or 10 days, and I'm trying to only bring a backpack, and this is just large, and I'm worried. My husband says that it's not breakable. I'm just always scared. I have a crack in the screen already, even though I've now put a safety cover on it, but I just don't want to deal with like a big piece of tech in my backpack where I'm going to be like stuffing things. So I did it. I bought myself a Kindle. I got the Kindle Paperwhite, and this is obviously a cover. Here she is, so much lighter. Look at the size difference. Much lighter. The battery life is so much longer than my iPad. I'm excited. I obviously tested it out because I wasn't sure if I would be down with the change, but I read Nona the Ninth on here, and I managed, and I enjoyed it. So yeah, I have a Kindle now. So like I said, this was the Paperwhite. This is the 10th generation. Does that sound right? Yeah, I'm very, very excited. I will still be using my iPad because I use it for so many other things, but if I'm just gonna be reading, boom, and it fits in like my much smaller bags, so that's very exciting for me. And so yes, there it is. Question 1. Yes, I would read on a Kindle. I simply didn't buy this because I had an iPad and I didn't want to buy like another thing, especially because this isn't cheap. But I have decided now, since I read more than I do anything in my life, I would get it. And so here she is. Now to some other questions. Let me see. And so then, kind of going off of it, I have a question. Do you keep all the books that you read, or do you donate them? Your library must be huge. So I pretty much exclusively use the library. So I'm from San Diego, California. The San Diego County Library is incredible. Shout out to anyone who works within that system. Great work. So I have a library card from my hometown. Even though I live in Korea, I still have my library card there, and through that I can sign up for the app called Libby and Overdrive, but Overdrive is going to be within this year, so I'm getting used to using Libby. Libby is just a digital library, so you can download / borrow ebooks and audiobooks and read them on whatever device you have. It is life-changing, like literally life-changing. And so that's actually how I get all of my books. I live in a one-room apartment with my husband who also likes to read, and so we have already reached our limit of how many books we can have. I have lost, there's no more, you can see that pile's already like kind of gonna fall. So yeah, I really, really limit the physical books that I buy. I tend to only buy physical books if I've already read it at the library and I want to just have it in my life forever. It's pretty rare. Or I would say like poetry collections. There are certain books that I don't enjoy reading as ebooks, and that's usually like shorter content, like short story collections or poetry collections. So I do buy those. But yeah, so I don't have many physical books, and then if I do have a physical and I don't think I want to keep it forever and ever and ever, I tend to pass it to a friend who lives in Korea, because we're all on the same struggle bus trying to get physical English books on the cheap. I got this type of question a lot. So this one specifically says, how do you read so much? University and work are so draining that I barely manage to read at all. And a lot of the questions were just like, how do you read so much? And I cannot stress this enough. I cannot stress this enough. This is my full-time job. This is all I do. It's literally all I do. It's kind of getting bad at this point. But when I was in university as well, I had no time. Ironically, one of my part-time jobs was I worked in the library, but I still didn't have time to read. I had every person who worked at the library, like all the students, we all had like a stack that was ours that we kind of claimed, and we hid behind the front desk because we did like check in, check out, and shelving. We all claimed like a little shelf that was ours that we like swear we're gonna check out. We swear we're gonna read. We never did. So just, I feel like that's a general theme, is it's really difficult to read while you're in university or when you're working. I really only started reading again, not only when I graduated university, but once I had my best friend slash roommate slash everything go home back to America. I was working here full-time for a tech startup. I was busy like doing other things in life, and then once I transitioned to having my own apartment and like, what do you do at night by yourself? That's when I started reading again. So it seems to be just a thing that like everyone kind of goes through this time in their life where they can't read. And then as far as the amount that I read, it's literally because that's my job. And it's all that I do. My job in life, my full-time job is this channel and my main channel. So if I don't read, I don't have content. So I'm technically working even though it's the thing that I love the most in life. So just remember that when you're watching any book-ish content online, is that for a lot of people, they have that kind of, even if they have less time than me, like even if they're just a part-time booktuber or whatever we are, they kind of have that fire under their ass of like, well, I have to read because I want to make content and talk to people about it, you know? Never ever compare. I know that it's frustrating. I remember being like just staring at that stack that I had at my library job, and it sucks, but just know that you aren't alone. We all go through it, and I'm playing catch up. Because I took such a long break from reading, I have so many books to catch up on that I am never without a book to read, which is great. So yeah, that's how myself and many others read so much, is that it's our only hobby. It's my whole dang life. Yeah. Which brings me to, do you ever get tired of reading so much / is it overkill, like quality versus quantity? I've kind of felt this way recently with reading. Is I went through, especially in the beginning of this month, actually, right after I read Chain of Thorns, I picked up and put down quite a few books because I just couldn't get into it. Normally that would frustrate me anyway, but it was extra frustrating because this was the first month that I really felt like, oh my god, I'm not gonna have enough books to talk about for my monthly wrap up. And I've never wanted to get to that point. I just never want, even though like I have technically like monetized my favorite hobby, I never wanted it to steal any just organic, sincere love I have towards reading. So that was like a big red flag for me. I was like, whoa, you gotta calm down, slow down reading. And so I kind of took a breath and tried not to think about that. So for me, it's not like I get sick of reading. It's more like I get frustrated because I want to be reading something really good. And when I don't, I just get, you know? So no, I'm never sick of the act of reading. Ooh, sorry. I'm never sick of the act of reading. I get sick of the act of reading books that I don't click with. That's, I feel like every book lover's worst nightmare. So, somebody just said collab with Cindy or Ellias, and from your lips to God's ears. Cindy and I might be on the same continent soon. She's always traveling. I'm always traveling. We're never on the same, literally on the same side of the world. So hopefully that will happen one day. And, yeah, keep manifesting it, my friend. How do you choose what to read next? I leave that up to the library gods. I put all of my books that I want to read. Anytime I hear about a book I'm interested in, I put it on hold, and whenever it comes in, it comes in. And that's how I choose what to read next. Unless it's a book that I'm like dying to read, like Chain of Thorns, I pre-ordered it, or, you know, something like that. But typically I just kind of let the library system do the work for me. It kind of takes the pressure off of having to choose a book. So kind of combining these maybe. Advice as a content creator on how to avoid burnout, and I'm considering starting a booktube channel. Do you have any advice? So in terms of burnout, I don't know. The thing that I've been doing for both of my channels is just finding stuff that makes me really happy to make. So I had a real big struggle during COVID, especially because what makes me so happy on my main channel is making content about travel. So like going to a new place and exploring a new city and sharing it with everybody. That's what brings me joy. Obviously, because of COVID, that was impossible. And so I had to make content that didn't necessarily bring me a lot of joy. And so I just felt burnt out and I felt unhappy. Even if the videos did well, I was just kind of like, ugh. And if they did horribly, I felt so bad because I didn't even like what I was making. So that was a major struggle. And then same with booktube. I have now found that if I don't have content that I'm excited to make, I give myself a week off. Like, it's better to give myself a week of not making content than pushing myself to make something that I'm not proud of, and that ends up making my burnout even worse because then I'm just upset with myself and upset with my channel. So yeah, I would say just try really hard to focus on making things that like you as a creator enjoy making, because yeah, if you're making stuff that you're bored with and it does horribly, you're just gonna get real sick of the whole content creation process real fast. So that's what I'm trying to work on. Obviously, it's not possible all the time, and sometimes you are just tired, so take a break. It's better for you in the long run, I think. And I didn't let myself take a break previously, and it's not good for you. But yeah, that's still something that I'm working on personally as well. So any burnout advice, ooh baby, leave it down below. And then in terms of just starting a booktube channel, do you have any advice? I feel kind of weird giving advice in terms of like, how do I grow? How do I start a booktube channel? Because I was really fortunate in that I had started a channel already. And so coming over here, I pretty immediately had an audience. And I think that the thing that frustrates so many people about starting on booktube is growing is really difficult. So getting your first 100 subscribers or your first 1,000 subscribers is really hard. And I don't really know how to go about growing. Like even my YouTube, I started on Tumblr beforehand. So when I started my YouTube channel, I already had an audience. Like I got my first 5,000 subscribers like the first day. So in terms of growth, I'm really not sure. I do have in our Discord, I have a section for like creators, whether you're trying to start a bookstagram or a booktube or something like that. There is a section, so if you want to talk to other creators and like promote your content and, you know, ask about that kind of thing, that is available at our Discord, and everybody's really sweet and lovely. But I would say that is something, if growth is what you're interested in, I would say try to be on multiple different channels. So maybe try a little bit of Bookstagram, Book Talk, just to meet people, even if it's just like other creators. Having that creative group is really helpful. And then sort of like I said with the burnout question, make stuff that makes you really happy. If you try to make stuff that is like a trend or whatever, just because you think that's what people want, if that doesn't do well, if no one watches that video, you're gonna be really angry at yourself. Make stuff that you would want to watch, stuff that even if you're the only one watching it back, like I watch my videos back, have fun with it so that no matter what happens, you will be happy with your content, you know? But I highly recommend checking out our Discord and really just connecting with people on other platforms, so whether it's Bookstagram or whatever. And also just start. I feel like a lot of people hold back because they don't know how to begin, but literally just do the booktube newbie tag. That's all you gotta do. And I'm filming with a camera, but I started with just filming with my phone. I had a little $1 tripod. I edit with Final Cut Pro, but in the beginning you can edit with whatever free service is on your laptop. I used iMovie. Just start. The only way to get better is to start, and like rewatching and seeing what you should have edited out, or you know, lighting, whatever it is. You've got to film. That's the only way. So start, find other people in the community to talk to, have fun. Easier said than done, but. And now for just some quick fun ones. Who are your They're Just Like Me characters? So I made this Instagram reel already, but I would like to see myself. I connected with Pamela from Ninth House and Hellbent because she just wants to sit at home reading and researching her weird supernatural things, but she ends up getting dragged into all of this stuff. She just wants to like cook and take care of people. Like I love it when I can just like have people over, take care of them, let them go do the demon hunting, but instead I get dragged into it. I understood Pamela on a deep level. I also get compared to her a lot, so I feel like I had to say Anne with an E. I think it's partially the redhead thing, but I appreciate it. And then most recently, Kurt and I were watching Wednesday on Netflix, and Kurt is 100% Wednesday, and I am 100% Enid. Like, she would say lines, and Kurt would just be like, she's you. Especially when you live with someone who is very much a Wednesday character, it's very easy to be like, I don't know, kind of camp counselor. I'm very guilty of being kind of like camp counselor, excited, everybody let's be friends. So yeah, I would say Enid as well as my most recent character. Speaking of, which book character is Kurt most like? Kurt is 100% the grumpy to my sunshine, but he's also really cute. Like he doesn't want anyone to know this, so like this is our little secret, but Kurt's like a really cute person behind closed doors. Privately he's very like adorable. So if there's anything like that, like the kind of grumpy character but who is secretly like just a little marshmallow, that's what Kurt is. So yeah. This one's random, but you gotta flex when you can. So somebody asked, have you gone to a BTS concert before? And my biggest flex in life is that I've seen BTS a bunch of times, but I've never paid, because I was in Korea when they debuted, and so they would just be at free concerts all the time, and so I've seen them a bunch. I saw their debut stage when they were still doing No More Dream. I saw Jimin do the running on everybody's back dance move that I think they've retired. But yeah, I have seen BTS a bunch, but I've never been to like a only BTS concert. Like I've always been at festivals and stuff, but yeah, I've seen BTS. Is this okay? Last two questions. What fantasy book world do you think you'd have the best chance of surviving in? Oh. I feel like it would have to be a world with just like really casual magic. All of my recent reads are like, I wouldn't want to be in the Shadowhunter world because I just would not deal with demons as much as I would love to think that I'm badass. Absolutely not. Once Upon a Broken Heart could be fun, but knowing that there are these like immortal, slightly evil gods flying around that could just like they don't give a shit about me, and they could turn me into a statue just on a whim. Also no. I don't know. I feel like maybe I'd want to be, I'm just thinking of what I've read recently. I feel like maybe I could live in like the Howl's Moving Castle world and just be a normal ass person living in like, what's the harbor town called? I'd like to live there. Fantasy worlds are fun until you realize that like there are people with really big magic that could do evil things and you don't have any power to stop it. Which, I mean, maybe that's kind of what the world is like anyway. Power in a different sense, non-magical power. Where's one that I could talk to dogs? Whatever world I can just talk to dogs, I feel like that would, yeah, that's where I'd want to live. I don't know, that's a good question. I feel like I would only like to live in fantasy worlds if I had like a really good power, or if I had some personality trait that I lack currently, like courage. So, good question. Let me know your answers down below. Yeah, I want to know. And then finally, last question is the last book that made you yell mid-read. Let me look at my Storygraph. Also, I use Storygraph. I get a lot of people asking if I use Goodreads. Goodreads just never gelled with me, but yeah, I use Storygraph. What did I read recently? Oh my god. Well, I recently read the Guild Plated Prisoner series, and I absolutely was yelling at that because, God, you want to read about a man with a lot of red flags. I was really angry. Harold the Ninth, I definitely did quite a few gasps, I would say. Well, more like Nona. Yeah, I think Nona the Ninth, I definitely did a lot of like noises. I don't know if that counts as yelling. Oh, and then, yeah, then I reread the whole Last Hours series. And so Chain of Thorns, I'm not going to spoil it, but there is a death, because there's always a death in Cassandra Clare. So I knew, basically walking into this series, I was like already making a list of like, who do I think is going to die? And one of the deaths, never on my list. Ever. And when that happened, I was like, wait, did I read that right? And yeah. So yeah, I'd say that. I yelled at Cassandra Clare, I yelled at Guild, and I 100% yelled at Nona. Good lord. A book I'm still recovering from. I finished that like 2 days ago, and I can't stop thinking about it. So anyway, yeah, that's it. I mainly just wanted to introduce you to my Kindle, which I'm so excited about. The only thing I will say, like tiniest complaint, is just that it is a little slower than my iPad, because an iPad is so fast. It's also not as sensitive as my iPad. So just, there's a teeny tiny delay when it comes to turning a page, but I got used to it really quickly. And like I said, I finished Nona and I had no issues. So there she is, my beautiful Kindle, Paperwhite. I'm so excited. Anything else I wanted to say? I think that's it. Like I said, I just went to Europe. So thank you guys for allowing me to take a week off last week. And hopefully by this time I will have content ready to just keep going through. But next month I'm going to Japan, and then my parents are coming to visit. So I do want to just give that warning of like April, May. It's going to be a little wonky in terms of content, but hopefully we can figure it all out. And yeah. So thank you as always. Thank you for your questions. Oh, I had a bunch of questions about Kurt and like, how did you meet your husband and all of this stuff. I have a bunch of Q&As on my main channel, info about how we got married, how we met, blah, blah, blah. You can even hear him talk instead of just me. So I will link some down below. But thank you for sending all of those in, and I will see you guys next time. Okay? Europe vlogs will be up very soon on my main channel, and I'll catch you guys later. Okay, hopefully I read a lot on the airplane, so I'll have a lot to catch you guys up on. I'm excited. I have a bunch of stuff loaded on my Kindle that I'm ready to read. So, okay, ta-ta. See you next time. Bye.